Hey Glam Babes, and thank you for stepping into the KC Glam Show, period, pool. So we are doing a really cute makeup recreation. I'm going to make sure I add the girls' at name in the description below, but we get right into it. So I decided to do, the glue brows, when you brush your brows up and you put glue on them. I use the Duo Lash Glue, the same glue that I use on my lashes. And I put it on my spoolie from the Mirror Sublimity brow pencil, and I just brush the hairs up like so. It doesn't always come out right, and it is best if your hairs are already tamed, or like your brows were, already like waxed or threaded. Like, it looks best that way. But, I just gotta make it do what it do at this point. The best way to get your brow hairs to actually go in the right direction is if the glue is already tacky. The glue cannot really be wet. It has to be tacky consistency so it lays the hairs down like right the first time. Now it's time to do our eyebrows. I am using the Mirror Sublimity Lustrous Brow Pencil in the style number 2. It is the darkest shade that we have, but how I do my brows is I start off by outlining the bottom of my eyebrows where I want them to end, and then I bring the tail all the way out, and then I go to the top and I do the same way and blend in from the middle. For a flawless base, I'll always make sure that I moisturize. Right here, I am using the Pond's Moisturizing Cream. A lot of people complain about it being really oily or causing it to be really greasy. So what I do to prevent that is I take my translucent powder from Dermablend and I tap that all over my face, basically to set the moisturizer and the primer that I use. The primer that I am using is the L'Oreal Prime Labs Mattifying Primer. I don't use too much because not a lot is really needed, especially since I'm going to set it as well. So it lasts very, very long with the amount that I use. Once all of that is good and dried down, like I stated before, I use my Dermablend translucent powder and I tap that all over my skin. Right here, I didn't use too much of it because I know when I did this technique another time, I had accidentally used too much and it made my base white. In this case, less is more, but now I'm going in with my Maybelline Superstay Concealer in the number 30, and I'm using that to carve out my eyebrows. I actually end up taking away a lot of my hair with this technique. I do not go against the grain, or basically go in the shape of my brows. Once that is done, we're going to take our Real Techniques brush and we're going to blend out that concealer like crazy. This concealer is matte and it dries quickly, so it's best to try to blend it out as fast as possible. Here is where I use my Juvia's Place primer to apply it on my lid. I really like this primer. It is really like top shelf for me, and it gets my eyeshadow very highly like pigmented. A tip when using primer, make sure that it dries down and that you blend it in appropriately, or correctly, as I should say. I'm blending out my edges of my concealer now up towards my brow a little bit, but not too close because I don't want under my brows to be white. After that base is blended in, we're going to go to town. So I'm going to use a brown shade that's very close in color with my eyelid space because we're going to do a graphic liner look. So I want to make sure that it's all like looks really good together and you don't see any white concealer. So to do the graphic liner part, I'm actually using eyeshadow, the Makeup Revolution palette. The name of it will be in the description. But I use a very flat and small smudge brush from Asali Beauty, and I tap the tip of it into the purple shade. And then I tap that on my lid and also dragging it, kind of like blending it out in the shape and the line that I want it to go. That way I don't have to overuse product and my line doesn't get too thick. Next step is the cut crease. I started off with using the Asali Beauty brush to cut the crease, but I had to change that to a bigger one because that was going to take all day trying to cut my crease. So I use a more flat concealer brush to get started, to start carving my crease. So the way I carve my crease is I put the concealer onto the side of the brush. I never put too much on the full thing because you can't always control how much you put on, but you could control how much, you get what I'm trying to say. Anywho, so I just pat the concealer in a tapping motion, and once I have the concealer where I need it to be, I kind of drag it along just so I don't overuse too much product, because when you use too much product and the concealer don't dry fast enough, that color does not lay on right. So make sure less, I guess you could say, is more. Period. Once that was done, I decided to go in with a bit more purple because I wanted to be more pigmented, but I was a little scared I was making my lines thicker, which I was trying to avoid. But I just need a little bit more purple to make the purple like really pop. After I made it more pigmented, I did go in with a smudge brush just to blend it out a bit more so I can drag that product a little bit, and so it doesn't just look like harsh lines. We still want it to be blended and have like a really good look. After I blended, I went in with my dark blue activated liners and I put that on top of the purple. With her look, it looks like she had like purple and blue going on, and then she had rhinestones on top. So that's why I decided to put my blue activated liner on top of the parts where the purple was. After the lines are added, I'm going to go ahead and put the eyeshadow on top of the crease part. Please be careful when you are doing this part because you don't want to put the purple on the part where it does not need to be. So make sure you get you either a flat concealer brush or a fluffy brush. I don't know how to explain it, but these brushes are flat but they are fluffy, so they are for exactly what I'm using it for. And I decided to use the same smudge brush that I used from Asali Beauty to make the purple lines to fill in places where I felt that concealer part couldn't reach. Once the purple was applied, I decided to outline the crease with the blue liner and then end up making a blue wing as well. Honestly, before I even finished the wing, it's like, I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the look as I got to this part. So I thought maybe if I add my rhinestones, I would like it better. So in this next part, I'm going to go ahead and start adding my rhinestones before I even get to the other side. Y'all know I always add my rhinestones last. So I decided to do it before I did the other side, just in case I just was going to take a picture and then take it off, because your girl was going outside and I wasn't going to go outside with a look I didn't like, honey. This is me right here, like, actually regretting it. Like, I really didn't like it, y'all. I really didn't. So I decided to put this mermaid pigment on top. I mixed it with this pink and blue that I had, and it came out real cute. Like, it's like really actually ate. So I decided to add more blue. This is where I added the wing. Baby, y'all, I just kept adding stuff and I just didn't like it, but I just decided to trust the process. I just said forget it, we just gonna go ahead and do it. Like, do it for the content, baby, because I wasn't gonna stop recording this video. One thing I know I struggle with is actually doing the lines. So here I took me a angled eyebrow brush and I put a little concealer on it just to clean up my lines, because I know my wings be messing up. They do not be accurate. They do not be skinny enough. So I'm just going in with that same concealer I use under my eyebrow just to kind of make that wing a little sharp. Now we are going in to do the base. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me in 334, I believe. This shade is highly yellow and it was a bit bright. I am now, in between 355 and another shade, but I never mix it. I just settle for what I got in contour and bronze, honey. So I'm going to apply just a little bit. I never use a lot of foundation unless I really want a full coverage look, which I should just buy me full coverage foundation. But at this point, we're just gonna do what we need to do. We're gonna work with what we got. When doing my eyebrows, I always take the concealer brush and my foundation shade and I line my brows up. I never use a bright concealer anymore because for some reason it doesn't even blend correctly, and I try not to mess up my brows, so I just use the same shade as my foundation. Once the foundation is applied, now it's time to highlight and contour. Lately, I've been using two different highlight colors. So I use the Maybelline Superstay that I use for my brows underneath. And I'm using the shade 30 in the back. And then I'm using the shade 27 in the inner corners of my eye. This kind of gives like a ombre effect and only makes the inner corner like really, really bright. But working with this foundation, since it is pretty yellow, I wish I kind of added the Juvia's Place primer in the inner corner just for kind of like that white look. Once the product is added, we are going to take our Real Technique brush and blend like crazy. Since I am doing my makeup in this way, since I use so much product, I always have to make sure that I am blending appropriately. And sometimes I go in with my foundation brush and I blend as well, because you don't want your product to not be blended. Like, it just has to be blended, especially when you're using so much of this product. When blending, you always want to tap your product in. You never want to sweep it, because when you sweep it, it does cause lines and streaks. Now we're going in with that nose contour, honey. I am using the Black Radiant Deep to Dark Contour Palette. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But I am using that to contour my nose. The concealer is like, it's really, really dark. So please be very, very light-handed, especially if you are my shade, because this concealer is really not for my color. But I use it because it does help me snatch my nose a bit more, because it is more pigmented than the shade that I'm supposed to use. But that's what you know. At this point, I still didn't like these colors on myself, so I just decided to add blue under my eye. And then I realized that this blue wasn't pigmented enough, so I ended up adding another color blue under there, and it made it pop a bit more. So I felt my eyes were looking a look big, I guess. So I didn't really have any mascara. I just decided to take that same angled brush from Asali Beauty and put black eyeshadow on it to make it look like mascara. And now we are putting on our Adorn lashes from Mirror Sublimity, of course. You know, don't rock any other lashes but Mirror Sublimity lashes. I think these lashes actually made the look better. It actually made me like the look. Now it is time for the lip. I'm using the Mirror Sublimity Cocoa Lip Pencil. Y'all found this lip pencil. It was hiding somewhere, and I was so happy that I found it. But I'm going to use this pencil to outline, and then I'm going to actually use concealer to kind of make my lips look a little bigger. I'm going to use an angle brush to clean up and outline my lips around the lip liner. Here it is, and that's how it's going to make my lips look like they poke out a bit more. When trying this technique, you want to use only a little bit concealer, especially since the concealer is brighter than your foundation shade. So you're going to want to use a little bit on the brush and blend it out as much as you can without actually wiping the lip pencil off. Now I am going in with my Mirror Sublimity Mocha Gloss. It's a really cute chocolate gloss. I usually use it as a lip liner until I found my Cocoa Lip Pencil. But I decided to do a new lip, y'all, because I usually put the Skin Tight in the middle. But instead, I use most of the mocha at the top of my lip. And then I put rolls on top of the mocha at the bottom lip. And I ended up liking the lip. Like, it came out like really, really cute. Like, it really like gave. So I forgot that I didn't contour the side of my face, so now we're going in now to do it because I was like, wait, my face look a little flat. But I tapped the product on since it is very harsh, like I said earlier, and I'm going in with a blending angle brush to blend that in, and I'm gonna blend like crazy. I try not to blend in a downward position, but sometimes I have to, so I'm trying to blend upward and bring that out. And then whatever other product that I have, I kind of use it to kind of bronze. Yes. Now it's time for the blush. Y'all, this is my favorite part. This actually made me like the look even more. Like, I was really wondering why I didn't like it so much. And then I decided to do some highlight because why not? The look is giving sparkle. It's giving gems. It's giving, like, I love it. Like, very much so love it. Had to add it on the tip of my lip and the tip of my nose because I had to shine bright like a diamond when it came to this look. And this is the final look. This recreation I had mixed feeling about it, but I ended up loving the end result. But bye, glam babes.